The stock having a roller coaster type of day, soaring yet again this morning before a move from Robinhood and trading platforms sent shares plummeting. The trading platform seemingly no longer allowing users to buy GameStop stock on the app. The platform issuing a statement reading, quote, "We continuously monitor the markets and make changes where necessary. In light of recent volatility, we are restricting transactions for certain securities to position closing only, including AMC, we were watching that one yesterday, BlackBerry as well, Bed Bath & Beyond, as well as ticker symbols like EXPR, GameStop, of course, that ticker symbol widely known at this point in time as GME, and then other ticker symbols such as KOSS and AKD, and one that you haven't heard from in a while, Nokia, ticker symbol NOK. Well, this move is getting the attention of Washington on both sides of the aisle. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeting, "This is unacceptable. We now need to know more about Robinhood App's decision to block retail investors from purchasing stock while hedge funds are freely able to trade the stock that as they see fit." Now, as a member of the Financial Services Committee, I'd support a hearing if necessary. Ted Cruz even tweeting he agrees. Now, this move leading to multiple class action lawsuits against Robinhood as well. And there you're seeing the tweet from Ted Cruz. Now, notably, is I do want to bring Hannah back into this conversation also, because we've continued to watch very closely exactly what the reaction has been from the platforms, from politicians. And if we take a step back, what has prompted all of this, and looking at the names that were dove into, it was Robinhood investors or Reddit investors that came together through their thread and said, we don't like the short positions that are out there on the market right now that are impacting some of the names that we know, the names that we care about perhaps too. And so we want to go directly after those short positions. And so it became evident after the moves that we saw in GameStop and some of the other notable moves in Tootsie Roll, even symbol TR, that it was clear they were targeting some of the names that had been the most shorted coming into this year, and targeting firms like Citron Research that has been notably one of the biggest bears that's continued to be vocal within the markets, and especially around the names that they have shorted in the past. And so with that, you saw Reddit investors band together. They themselves flooded in volume these platforms, and Robinhood most notably, as retail investors throughout the pandemic, has shifted gears there. Now, in the economic backdrop as well, let's also remember that a lot of investors, new retail investors perhaps, may have just received stimulus checks as well. And that is congruent to what we had seen previously, earlier in the pandemic, when stimulus checks went out, the types of flows that came into the market also. And so what is most alarming here on the day is the action that we have seen from trading platforms in limiting the types of orders that can be executed on specific stocks that the Reddit investors have indeed piled into and had their own conversations, collaboration around, that has prompted discussions about whether or not it's market manipulation. But, you know, to their argument, it is no more market manipulation than some of the firms that will put out their positions on stocks, and we see the markets move based on that as well. Or they're able to sell directly into different buyers who are willing to jump in an IPO that they might be a part of as well. And so this is going to be a continuing conversation in how we continue to evaluate what regulatory needs to do to change, and then additionally where the retail investor does have power in being able to look at the capital market system and say, all right, cool, I've taken on the financial literacy that you've been telling me to take on for so long, and this is how I've decided to play it.
Brad, for a fantastic breakdown. You know we're in uncharted territory when both AOC and Ted Cruz agree on something.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you here. This is a Wall Street versus Reddit, David versus Goliath. Basically, it's billionaire hedge funds and short sellers versus a band of mostly young day stalkers. What I am curious about here is, you know, many experts and everything I'm reading saying, well, this is not going to last. This is temporary, from experts. But do these... If one thing this taught us, and my question is coming for you, because I'm curious, do these experts, aren't we realizing they probably don't know what they're talking about? Did this whole story teach us that?
I think what this has taught us is that a lot of the licensed experts or licensed platforms, they anticipate trades being executed in a certain direction and valuing companies based on the parameters that they have set forth in the past, based on how they evaluate companies with their assets, their cash equivalents, their leadership, their market share. And if somebody is to say, you know what, I want to play this totally differently, and I have a different perspective on how I'm going to evaluate the company, and oh yeah, these other people, they're with me on this and how we're evaluating the company, and we understand that it throws off your models, but at the same time, that's where we would like to evaluate and what we're willing to pay for the company. That is the capital markets right there for you. That is the equities and options. It's based on demand. We are in a supply and demand economy, and right now that is exactly how some of these retail investors have looked at it and charted their own position. I know we got to move on, but there's much more discussion around this.